Is it me or does Robert De Niro these days look like Betsy Ross falling apart at the seams? And if Google doesn't intentionally manipulate search results, then why is it harder for me to find positive mentions of President Trump on Google than it is for me to find a review from a film blogger on Rotten Tomatoes who called The Irishman underrated? Can I get a holla for A plus Gemry for a Halloween special? You're welcome. Holla. Thank you very much. This is a primo example of hilarious flash fiction called The Stand-Up Leech Doctor. Once upon a time, there was a cardiologist from New Orleans who moved to Manhattan to become a stand-up leech doctor named Aoli Kornbluth. Every day, at his new Upper East Side office across the street from the famed comic strip Live on 2nd Avenue, he'd offer his bad blood removal service free of charge. Growing up in New Orleans, his cardiologist's father, Michael, decided to name his kid Aoli because no son, planned or not, could compare to his dearly departed firstborn Zevon Kornbluth, who died in Vietnam from a falling tree. Aoli Kornbluth's father always said laughter was the best medicine for a heavy heart. So he named his unplanned son Aoli, which lightened his cinder block clogged heart every time he ordered his son to do his errands as a kid, such as make your bed, Aoli, take out the trash, Aoli, your Snoop Dogg records too. I don't care that he samples funk beats and big horns from Curtis Mayfield records. His brain still hovers a notch below Pornhood hell. As a kid, Aoli Kornbluth was forced to feel like the unwanted, aborted one, prompting him to use his allowance for a whole year to buy a Henry Kissinger doll from a voodoo doctor in the French Quarter to seek revenge on the Merchant of Death, responsible for the rapid, incessant, blatantly unnecessary acceleration of the Vietnam War. But he didn't have enough money saved for the cost of so much fabric. Still, the voodoo doctor chief long-winded Bo gave Aoli Kornbluth more than a mere consolation prize in return by offering to teach the ancient black magic art of bad blood removal through leech expungement. Please stand by me. A young 13-year-old Aoli Kornbluth poured his heart out to Chief Long-Winded Bo, trying to look his dapper best, sporting a standard iron Catholic private school suit and tie attire from the same school where Eli and Peyton Manning attended as kids down off the bayou. He says, Chief, can I call you just Chief? I'd like to be curt so you have more time to ramble on. I can't shake the feeling that my dad will never forgive God for taking his firstborn, my big brother, away from him so soon. You think I'd offer some solace, being on the honor roll year after year. I even broke Eli Manning's single-season touchdown record. Yet Pops would rather listen to Fats Domino records on Sunday while sipping more Blanton's highballs, reading more damn Michael Crichton novels, and never taking the time to throw the pigskin around the yard with me. Also, Eli Manning is a bigger pimp than Tom Brady. He's New Orleans royalty for starters. Plus, Eli married his college sweetheart, not some annoying Brazilian chickenhead either. Giselle is also like 80 in model years. Chief Long-Winded Bo says, and Oliver Stone has the gall to call me long-winded, compared to my younger brother snorts coke with vampires when he hired us as creative consultants on the set of Natural Born Killers. Moving forward, I would add some leeches to your diet. You can swallow them whole or dice them and saute them in butter nestled within a crawfish pie if you'd like. Either way, the leeches will remove any ill will you have for your father for never making you feel like an esteemed wanted member of the family. Aoli Kornbluth says, I love crawfish pie. I've always told my dad crawfish is shrimp with more personality. Yeah, my dad doesn't think I'm funny enough to be a stand-up comedian either. But now, Aoli Kornbluth is about to turn 40 in Manhattan with no kids or wife in his life. All he's got is his fancy cardiologist's office practice on the Upper East Side and dreams of becoming a stand-up leech doctor. Although tonight was the annual audition tryout for the comic strip, which he'd been practicing for his entire life. His number is called, and Aoli Kornbluth approaches the stage, yet fumbles, grabbing the mic out of the stand. Aoli says, can you believe I'm a cardiologist and perform open-heart surgery for a living? Crowd screams with approval. Aoli relaxes a tad and roams the stage to take in the crowd. And the moment he's dreamed of turning into reality forever, while almost tripping over the cold microphone cord. Aioli stares at the mic cord on the stage and says, "The mic cord isn't a live snake. You'd think being raised by a bunch of Mardi Gras Indians, I wouldn't let a microphone cord rattle my game." Crowd laughs again. Long time. Laughter was the best medicine for a heavy heart. And Aioli Cornblood was sad no more until he died on stage soon after and was told to never audition for the comic strip ever again. The owner of the comic strip said, "Stick with sticking your heart attack patients with more stents." The end. Thank you very much. So I'm not going to go on too long tonight, but I did want to share something else special for Do It All Dad Nation. I'm feeling very giddy. My 2-hour-plus monster stand-up comedy special for the ages that should cement my burgeoning comedic star legacy forevermore is being reviewed as we speak from a blogger from St. Louis, which makes me very excited. She's literally getting it done before Election Day, which is early next week. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday. I keep on forgetting. But I'm very excited, and I'm feeling very generous. So what I'm going to share now is a piece that I'm fond of, and it's about the importance of assuming ownership of your kids' patriotic education. And it's called Put Your Uncle Sam Sales Hat On. Randy Newman lives. Holla. Thank you very much. Did you know America is in the midst of a coin shortage right now? In a post-COVID world, we can't stomach the idea of looking at the significant others we live with 1 second longer. So we've taken up coin collecting to maximize FaceTime with dead presidents. We'll take up the most boring hobby again instead. Wife yells from downstairs, "What are you doing, honey bun?" Husband yells back, "I'm working on my coin collection, babe." It's our country's new favorite hobby after prayer shaming, spitting on vets' graves, and trivializing the Holocaust through banning the Pledge of Allegiance because we live under big tech's rule. Now, especially since Goodwill Hoodie at Facebook sold his soul to the Chinese Ministry of Truth. Who cares if Chinese-made fentanyl has killed more crackers in this country than Taylor Swift kicking it with Lena Dunham on Instagram? Who cares if Facebook has anointed China as the ultimate judge of good versus evil, despite the coronavirus made in China being responsible for your dad having to give his mother in England only a virtual kiss goodbye on her deathbed, especially knowing that China has resisted corona investigations more than Aquafresh. But at the very least, the New Yorker magazine will now know better to start every Zoom call moving forward with "Hands up high, Tubin, where I could see them." You're having a hard time getting a grip over the fact that Hunter Biden is starting to make Charlie Sheen look like a slacker underachiever? I get it. But take a load off on your own time and don't come around our Zoom calls no more. Can I get a holla for a fucking hilarious flow? You're not going to get on the New Yorker or in the Atlantic because God busted the funny Jawbone. And I've worked my ass off to get this fucking funny. So deal with it. Holla. Thank you very much. So if you're a parent in America today who's not enthralled with the prospect of enabling a future generation of ungrateful, hate-filled, Punisher vigilantes for Antifa and hoodies, or intent on blowing a mini fortune on an Ivy League education for your only kid to become a glaringly unoriginal, uppity, knee-jerk, reactionary, blah-brain, hack, douchebag reporter like Jeffrey Toobin for The New Yorker, then I'd start selling your kids early on why patriotism matters, because our schools won't anymore. Can I get a holla for mouthfuls of pointed hilarity? My flow's fucking phenomenal. Nas, you better suck me up a long time. Holla. Thank you very much. My kid's elementary school just canceled the Pledge of Allegiance. Will my kid's school cancel apple pie next because it's too aggressively cheery for kids raised on 13 reasons why. I never received an email from my kid's school about why they canceled the Pledge of Allegiance, although I suspect the expression under God was no longer deemed inclusive enough for the parental sect of East Coast atheists who send their kids there intent on sucking off their gods like Bill Maher to the last dying breath. Hey, Kanye West, you want to give me some love too? Holla. Thank you very much. Plus, if working parents today want to keep their jobs, they must show a commitment to improve their social justice writing credit score at work by only retweeting AOC tweets comparing our border detention facilities with centralized AC designed to stop rampant sex trafficking of minors to Nazi death camps. Plus, parents today need to be equipped with endless President Trump insults at the tip of their tongues to remain uncanceled by their far younger, maligned millennial masketeer co-workers over shared Taco Tuesdays, since eating lunch within their walls and office of yesteryear is now branded to alt-right white-collar xenophobic for their ad tech startup taste. For example, you have to have a joke prepared at the tip of your tongue about President Trump saying, President Trump has ties to Russia. Duh. What mail order bride owner doesn't? Can I get a holla? For President Trump, that gets under your skin, then you can go woke yourself. I love you, but it's a hilarious joke. And I love Melania. And this is my impersonation of Melania during Halloween this year. Let me rephrase that. It's a impersonation of President Trump with Melania. Greeting trick-or-treaters outside the White House. President Trump says to a kid, hey kid, who's wearing like a QAnon hat. He's dressed as a QAnon follower. He's got Q all over his freaking face. And his shirt and his hat. President Trump says, do you know what Melania tastes like? Q Jr., try some rock candy, kid. Can I get a holla for the most amazing flow on this Halloween special? Let's keep it going. Holla. Thank you very much. It's beyond time for American parents today to assume the responsibility of selling our kids on the importance of patriotism, because respect for elders today is lower than Hunter Biden's Yelp rating for the Mac shop he forgot existed until the New York Post reported on it in Wilmington, Delaware, outside the old Townie bar in town, where Hunter Biden, during one of his 3-day coke benders, would end up only hearing last call from the bathroom stall. But parents today can still entrust Netflix, ESPN, CNN, the New York Times, and especially Twitter to teach their kids the importance of standing up for the national anthem and putting their hands over their hearts for it during all ball games, instead of futzing with their smartphones to watch Tommy Lee's videos on Instagram shouting at fake news devils. Yeah, and Judd Apatow is the chief happiness officer for Breitbart. Can I get a holla for A+ Germany? Breitbart, you could suck my beautifully circumcised schlong long time if I give me the love that I deserve. Holla. Thank you very much. When I push my kids on the swing, I assume the persona of Sly Stone from the original Woodstock and sing with real deal Fly Guy feeling. I'm gonna take ya. Yeah. How does this playful sing-along push routine teach my kids patriotism matters? Because I tell my kids Sly Stallone was a star voice behind a prideful black nationalist musical movement in the 60s, which kicked ass, sounded great to dance to also, which is also a source of empowerment, not derisive derision. We shouldn't command Whitey to never eat in peace in a restaurant patio ever again. I teach my kids patriotism, which is love a country, by teaching them about the great melting pot New York City is, which boasts more than 200 dialects, so insisting only Black Lives Matter insults a boatload of other immigrant sects. I teach patriotism to my kids by emoting by the greatest moderate Muslim of all time, Muhammad Ali, who floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee, inspiring other mouthy kids from Louisville, Kentucky to boast to dad, one day that's going to be me. My 3-year-old son requires Jimi Hendrix blues on vinyl. What about yours? So stop acting like teaching your kids about patriotism is such a white nationalist-laden snore. Kanye, I want some ball ticklage long time after listening to this. At night before story time, I mix it up and tell my kids about how Walt Clyde Frazier beats Dr. Seuss as the coolest cat of rhyme, who led the Knicks past the Lakers in '73 at the Garden by dishing out 19 dimes. My kids hug American flags in the street because I've shown them pictures of President Trump doing the same, which is pretty sweet, proving infectious love of Old Glory is hard to beat. I teach my kids that taking a knee is the equivalent to kicking Nazi destroyers in the nuts and spitting on vets' graves, housing those unfortunate drafted sons who Jesus can never save. Roseanne Cash, gonna lick my balls long time? Probably not. You're a resistor. Your dad would disapprove. Holla. Thank you very much. I teach my 3-year-old son love a country for pointing out how America the Beautiful gave birth to thrash metal guitar great Dave Mustaine by showing him a clip on YouTube of him playing the Star Spangled Banner at a Little League game, which inspired my headbanging bull son to say, I'm going to play that one day. Patriotism sells, so put your Uncle Sam's sales hat on, and soon enough, your kids will be hugging flags down on Main Street too. This is the Do It All Dad Year podcast. Dad-friendly entertainment for you and me. Controlling kids of comedy can make our kids great again. My 3 fuss-free kids, 98% of the time, are living proof of it. I wanted to hang up an ISIS flag for Halloween tonight to scare away trick-or-treaters, but then I realized President Trump is responsible for eliminating the caliphate, and ISIS is now an ineffectual non-entity, so that joke will come across as dated and no longer pertinent. But it is a good segue to bash Obama one last time before the Halloween party celebration is underway. So what was Obama's major foreign policy accomplishment again? Oh yeah, he rebranded ISIL, so they sound more startup friendly in the New York Times. That's an Obama accomplishment for you. Talk to you guys soon.